Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to LaneSmash 2021. We have an exciting match today between Too Late and CBT. CBT, I believe, playing TR today, and Too Late, on the other hand, playing VS. Very interesting matchup. Both teams have had a lot of practice into the preseason, and then, of course, played some matches already in this season of LaneSmash, and I expect a really interesting performance from both. Go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm joined by Dubness here.
Hello, I'm looking forward to this match. As someone who's advised CBT and prayed for help this season, it's been nice to watch CBT kind of grow into what they've become, and hopefully it should be a really, really entertaining match.
Yep. All right, so let's flip over to the lane info. We can kind of do an intro here before we jump over to the player cam. So we've got Heyoka to Tumas, which is one of the classic LaneSmash lanes. I think this has been honestly around since season 1 or maybe 2 of LaneSmash. A lot of tried and tested fights that have happened here. Colors are flipped, actually, so if you look at the stream right now, the sides are going to be reversed. Tumas is red right now, and Heyoka is purple. It's a 5-point base, so there is a neutral base in the middle, which means that both teams will start trying to cap Chimney Rock Depot before the other team does. And for people unfamiliar with how, LaneSmash works, or just PlanetSide and neutral bases in general, the first team to get on that point is not necessarily the team that's going to win it. If you're able to grab that point at the last second, you can flip it for yourself.
The match will start in exactly 3 ticks from now.
That's the ref there. So we got about a minute and a half here. So I'm really interested to see how the teams play this out. If they're going to go for a turtle on Chimney Rock, if they're going to kind of win air and vehicle dominance and then push it. After that, it's a push towards Heyoka Chemical Lab for CBT, or towards Skyline's Battery for Date. Both of which are fairly open bases. There is like a potential to turtle in Heyoka Chemical because there is a powerhouse in there, or powerhouse style building. And then, of course, tech plants on either side makes this a very even lane, I would say. Either team has the chance to cap the other team's home base. Is there anything you're interested in seeing either team do, Dubness, on this lane? Any strats you think a team might be able to pull out?
Well, obviously there's the classic bridge hack at Heyoka Chemical Lab.
For sure.
Yeah, you love to see that if it does happen. But I think what's kind of underestimated is to like southwest of Chimney Rock, there's a really high kind of mountain area, and mag riders, they can control that area, they can boss that area.
Yeah, get some HE shells down into the base, into the point. It becomes really hard to push.
Exactly. So hopefully we see a bit of that because, normally we see it in the northeast, but with mag riders coming into the meta due to the supposed weakness of the NC, we might see a bit more diversity in that area.
That's one thing I really like about LaneSmash too, because unlike other formats where it's entirely based off, infantry weapons or anything like that, you get to play to the faction's strengths, and having mag riders on a lane like this can actually make a big difference, especially with just how many mountains and stuff there are. You can get some nasty angles. So even though, potentially the Reaver, the Mossy have like better speeds, better damage, whatever at close ranges, the mag rider is nothing to scoff at on a lane like this.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, most teams, they're not choosing NC right now because the max isn't that strong, good. Apparently, right? But, the Vanguard is still a very strong MBT.
The match will start at the end of this tick.
ESF,
will start at the end of this tick.
Yeah.
It just goes to show how important maxes are this season, and I think, both teams will have a lot of those this match.
Especially if they're trying to point hold some of these bases where they just kind of turtle. So looking at the starting here, it looks like we've got a pretty good mix between air and ground for CBT. I'm counting 6-7 Prowlers, a rep bus, might be an 8th Prowler coming in, and then honestly fewer mosquitoes than I expected. I think there's only about 8 in the sky right now. Looks like they have double pulls ready though. I can't tell if those are double pulls or just pilots that aren't in the air yet. But either way, a decent presence, good mix here, and I think if they're able to win air and ground control, then it should be a clinch to cap Chimney Rock in the middle. Do you know what Date's doing on the other side?
Over here, Too Late, they've got at least 7 mag riders.
10.
10 seconds to go. 7 mag riders. So
5, 4, 3, 2.
There's so many sites I don't know how many they have.
Match start.
Can't count it high.
If there's that many sites, then I think the CBT team here is going to be in trouble. Looks like they're going for some few sites. One site just really pushing hard into the enemies. The rest of them, is he going for a beacon drop? Maybe. Typical air fight here. Looks like we've got both teams playing a little bit slow. VS trying to push in harder just because they do have the numbers here. Yeah, here comes the big swarm now. They've got a few of the probably better pilots playing at a range that they can, you know, consistently hit shots at. This guy here is doing pretty well. And then some of the maybe less experienced pilots, or just the ones that are eager for kills, are really pushing hard. Looks like there's more sites in the air right now, but not by many.
Yeah, it's been pretty even so
Yeah.
far. I thought the Scythes definitely had the upper hand, but Cobalt Terrans are actually starting to gain the upper hand. I think
they
in this
grabbed
air
their
fight.
double pulls. I think that's why we saw some extra ones here, or maybe some started late, because now it looks like there's more Mozzies in the sky. So kudos to them for winning that. Yeah, so the few remaining sides are backing off now, waiting for reinforcements.
And still no flip at Chimney Rock.
Yeah, let's take a look at the ground here. I don't know where the tanks are. They must be going around.
You got
Let's see
northeast for the TR tanks.
Yeah, here we go. So there's there's Mag Riders rather playing the kills. So this is pretty much what I expected here. They're doing some really interesting flanks. Now the issue is Mag Riders are fantastic at shooting other tanks, but unless they've got a ranger on top, which I don't think, they're going to get wrecked by the air if the VS isn't able to win air dominance here.
And we finally have a someone from Cobalt Terrans. They just flipped the point. They landed their Mozzie and flipped the point. So the timer
see
has
that?
started.
He got back in the Mozzie and left, so he's just there to start the cap going, which is probably the smart move, considering that both teams have burned through probably 350 nanites per player. So whoever's able to get that team on point fastest at this point might have the best chance. We'll see.
I mean, this air battle is still ongoing.
Yeah.
You know, both teams, they clearly want to have the air control for this match, and
it's
it is really
important.
close.
Yeah, it's really important too, because then they can start shelling the tanks, but neither team is giving the other team breathing room to start shooting at tanks. It looks like Vanu's repull really worked here. They cleared most of the Mozzies out of the sky. The few remaining ones had to back out. No one on point at Chimney Rock, I don't think. Let me take a look inside. No, point is empty, although there are some there are some too late folks kind of scattered around the base, but not many.
Yeah, you know, I think we're looking for probably a stealth bus to be deployed in the woods, but
yeah,
that's going to be difficult considering, you know, it's basically right next to like 5 prowlers.
Yeah. I don't know if there's good comms on this team or what, but this Prowler right now is really needed some help, and the other guy's not helping him yet. He's trying to play this like a Mag Rider trying to climb the hill. Although this angle is nasty. Look at this. He's not getting hit by the Mag Rider, and he's just inching forward enough to hit him. Really good driving there from CBT Dave. Back in the sky, Coyotes again favorites here.
Still kind of surprised that there's been no vehicles near the point yet.
We got a Sunny rolling up. So we got CBT's bringing up a rep bus. Questionable choice, but maybe that's all they had on hand.
Oh, they've got more. They've got loads. Check out.
Here's the chain
coming down the road.
Yep. Here's the chain. I only saw the first guy, so they're all rep buses, which can work. I mean, if you're able to get some tank mines or C4, then rep buses don't mean too much. But if they have a blockade bus, which they might, I think it's so they have a few blockades in there as well. So that's a really good combo. And if they're able to get these onto point before the Mag Riders can do anything, which looks like what's happening, then they have a good chance of capping this.
Yeah, it looks like everything is in favor of Cobalt Terrans right now. They haven't totally won that. Oh, Galaxy inbound, northwest side coming in now for Chimney Rock. That could really disrupt their plans.
It's a good thing that it's not being focused either. It looks like the CBT folk are trying to deal with the other sites first. Problem is, even with
the max
big
drop.
max drop, 2 maxes only actually. I would have expected a little more, but even with all these people, when you have this many Sunnies out here and all this air spam, I don't even think they're gonna get inside. Oh, look at this strategy. This is really smart. Look what they've done. They've shoved the Sunderers into the doorways so nobody can get inside the base except through like 2 windows, which they can easily kill people as they funnel in. Really, really smart from CBT there. They did manage to get 1 max and a couple heavies in here.
Yes, I've got the point.
They did get a few people in here, but with the Sunday spawns, it's not going to last because I don't think Vanu has another way of rezzing any of these people, and it's just a matter of time at this point. Rage Twisted finally goes down. Resonate's out for CBT. 2 matches still left though.
It's looking good
This,
for CBT
so
right now.
Yeah. Whoever parked this under here, excellent job. Really, really smart move. It blew up just now, but I think that was probably what saved them the point because Too Late had to funnel in through one window.
Yeah, clearly some good teamwork and prep put into this lane.
Yep.
From Cobalt Terrans here.
Yep. Mosquitoes not ground pounding as intensely as they could. It looks like, yeah, so they're sacrificing themselves to try to get those few kills on the Vaughn on the ground here. Surprising to see no one in the Sunday guns though. Bulldogs are pretty powerful, but right now they're leaving them empty.
I think they're just going to get everybody on point.
Yeah,
just so they don't
left.
lose it.
That Sunday's on fire, but same strategy where they're trying to hold the door here. They didn't quite get it close enough, but with the engineer shield here, same funnel situation. VS really struggling to make it inside. Good gameplay here. They've got Enchies in the back, and yeah, Cap goes through. CBT.
Now that was a really good hold. You know, you got the as you say, right, the highlight barriers in the doorway. The Sunder is also helping to block the doors. Then you got the crossfire with the spare Sundays like just parked around, and of course the Prowler's still alive. And because Too Late didn't have any air control, they couldn't really remove that cheese, and that was probably the deciding factor for that point hold.
It definitely looked rehearsed, like the way that they rolled up the Sundays, the timing that they had down, and then shoving them in the doors and getting into the corners really felt.
And there's already a back cap. There's already a back cap.
Go take a look at this. Really, really quick.
I mean, it was only one person,
but it's enough to get some time on the cap.
Exactly, and it pulls it. And look how many people from Too Late are back here already. There's a whole squad,
almost
people.
A full squad. That's overcommitment, but sometimes you got to do that because you don't know how many people are going to be back capping. And this gives CBT the breathing room they need to not worry about Chimney Rock for now. They can wait a little bit, start pulling back, getting another air push together, whatever they need. Got a beacon drop here. No, he just bails without ejection sheet. I think that might have been a mistake. Poor Logan.
Not if they had safe fall like they should do as if you're flying.
Yeah, he just jumped out with neither safe fall nor ejection sheet.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it.
So it looks like CBT is trying to get a beacon down here, but the few people that they've sent over here died. That being said, Too Late not doing too much, kind of turtling on their own point. I think they got to start thinking about how they're going to push back towards Chimney Rock. Because if they keep waiting here, it's just a matter of time before CBT pulls another armor column or air column.
Yeah, but and even this infantry hold currently from Too Late at Chemical Lab. Oh, 4 people just committed suicide. 5, 6. Okay, never mind. I was going to say they're holding it, but they're clearly not. I think they're trying to transition over.
Do they have a beacon up over at?
I can't see one.
Chimney? Yeah, me neither. I'm curious
and
what their plan is.
Still have a couple people on point here.
If they're going back for a gal, then honestly, that might be a bit late considering how far pushed up the armor column is for CBT.
Well, CBT are now flipping the point at Chemical Lab with 2 infiltrators. And there's a max here now as well, so unless they're back capped, which they are. They're back capped at Chimney Rock.
Good timing, right at nick of time.
Yeah, if that was a second later,
it was already flashing, I think, at the other base, so that was really, really close.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And this is a pretty strong infantry hold already from.
That being said, it's only infantry. Like, I'm only seeing heavies and medics, which is fine because it's a beacon drop. But you know what? If this wins them enough time to then start like a max drop or some air, like this is good because you're not committing that many nanites when you're fighting like this with just medics and heavies. So you have the chance to kind of recover some of your resources and then push back in with hopefully some time on the clock already.
Yeah, which I mean, what we might see from Cobalt Terrans here is they might try to set up the next phase, which would be a mistake because they don't have air control at that pace. They only have air control at Chimney Rock. But oh, they are pushing in though here at Chimney Rock.
Sorry about that. Got a doggy. All right, looks like mostly CBT win here. Cleared out the point pretty easily. Did give him 50 seconds of breathing room though. Let's see how VS use this.
Yeah, I'm surprised how quickly Cohort Terrans were able to actually re-secure that point, because that actually looked like a solid like kind of point hold for infantry, and it was mostly an infantry fight, and yet they've just been surgically removed from Chimney Rock. Although they do have a beacon in the rock, so they will try to attempt to push back in, despite the Banshees. Although they're getting now distracted by the Scythes.
Yep.
Oh, here comes the push now for the Chimney Rock point. The Cohort Terrans rotate too quickly. We're about to find out. Points flipping.
Another infantry push too. I don't see. Do they have a bus up here, or is that just all beacon drops again?
It was just all beacons drop, yeah. It was a whole squad just dropping in at the same time.
We'll see. I wonder if they're going to do anything different than the last hold. There's the... Okay, so it looks like there's a hard spawn here for CBT, so they can get to the point. Not that much quicker, to be honest, than the spawn. But they can get it up to the hill, and then from the hill you can start shelling the base, rocket launchers and such.
Oh, that's not fun.
Big presence from the sides. Yeah, no, that was clutch, too. That was really, really important. It looks like that's where they committed their extra nanites. It wasn't in maxes. It was in the sites here, and I think that might pay off because I don't see any CBT. I see one Mozzie. So unless they start
look at the
more...
pop. Look at the pop of Chimney Rock. VS at 56%. That's a lot. Like where is the rest of Cohort Terrans?
They've got a few maxes coming from spawn here, and here comes a lightning. HE lightning shelling the point. Oh no, so many road kills just landing on the lightning.
If this push is enough to remove this point hold, I'll be quite surprised. But it looks like it could. They're pushing in now.
It might be, because there's like 3 engines on that max, and he's already killed like 4 or 5 people in here. C4 goes out. That's gonna get a few people. Big resonate, here we go.
Yeah, it's the max. It's the max.
It's the max. That one guy there, Idursa. I'm not familiar with the players on CBT, but he's doing work here without that much res. I think he killed a good like squad full of people there. Big resonates again.
Yeah, but they still haven't secured the point.
Yeah. It was close. Whoever the medics are on too late, those resonates were super well timed, and when you run safeguard like that, really, really important.
They had med balling.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sort of med balling, you know, it's nothing new. The French are pretty well known for it. They you know, in the past they've liked to use it quite a lot.
Yep.
And it's working out for too late right now. I mean,
minute and a half.
I mean, how to remove them from the point here? Roll up buses, shell the point, breach in with everyone you have, because otherwise you're going to lose this base.
Yeah, no, they need I think they need either gal drop maxes, or like they need a coordinated push, because right now when they're playing on the hill and they're rolling up with like 8 people at a time, it's not enough. Like with the entire VS team on infantry in here, there's not really any reason for CBT not to respond with, you know, some form of big infantry push as well. Or, you know, they have lightnings right now.
The EMP goes in. Looks like they're grouping up now to push back in.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to see any comps out. Yeah, a few comps, or EMP that went out earlier. Big push now from the maxes. Medics and engineers.
Lots of resonates still from the VS.
Yep. Lots of engineers too, repairing those maxes. Pocket engines doing their job too, keeping those maxes up. I don't think that, you know what? I think they killed all the VS medics fast enough that they didn't get to throw resonates out. Yeah, I don't see any popping. So good resecure now from CBT. Although I must say, like, that infantry hold was really impressive for what it lasted. Like, that was almost 2 minutes, and if they didn't respond, if CBT didn't respond with almost all of their team dropping or pushing that point, I bet Too Late would have won that. All right, so we've got now, honestly, I would call this a bit of a faux pas. A lot of new teams play hard spawns when they're pushing bases like this. And if you don't have really, really good vehicle and air dominance, when you're pushing up this many players, it can be a really huge risk. Now, that said, I don't see any...
oh, there's a big push coming in now again.
Yeah,
they're pushing over the hill once again. They've killed the Sunday, and the 2 maxes are about to breach in.
Where's the pre-cap? This is when you need a pre-cap more than ever.
I mean, there needs to be... Oh, the Sunday! Oh, that's gonna hurt. The Sunny's just driving over that too late push.
Roadkill after roadkill. There's 3 or 4 there on the ground still. Finally pops. Yeah, so whatever I was saying about hard spawns being, you know, a bit of a mistake sometimes, it seems to be an okay push, at least until the Sunny started driving.
Well, that's the thing. I'm surprised this lightning here from Covert Terrence hasn't seen the bus. He's looking for it, but maybe needs to work on his graphic settings if he can't see a cloak bus. Oh, he's found it now. There we go. So he knows where it is. They know the bus is there.
Just as the Mozzie, just as the Scythe starts shooting him too. I think there's like 3 NGs behind that thing though. 2 NGs. It's gonna take a while to pop.
Yeah, it's gonna be difficult.
And he goes down. I hope he called it out for his team though, because if he called it out, then they should be able to respond pretty fast. It's only a cloak bus after all. If UC4 will be able to kill that. It looks like they have harassers rolling up, so they might be running low on nanites.
Yeah,
wow,
too late harassers trying to breach, but they've run into a couple lightnings now.
Yeah.
So they're going to get intercepted. Oh, that one just got rammed into the ammo tower. That's some good driving there from Covert Terrence. But the other lightning goes down.
Infantry inside, still 50-50. Looks like CBT's holding it for now. I realized I was talking about a pre-cap earlier. I totally forgot that the point was still 2 minutes in favor of too late. So it looks like they were actually making a smart move here, trying to push back in. But they're just trickling at this point, one by one, off beacon drops. And that's not going to work.
Yeah, but it might be enough. Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so. They need it with the number of players they had. They could have maybe done it with like a concerted push altogether, but they were like basically dropping as soon as the beacon went down, and they funneled in. Okay, now let's see if it's pre-cap going, because this is when they need it. There is. Okay, so good.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, good coordination there from CBT. They knew what they had to do, and that should pull too late off the point.
The question is, do they have any beacons or Sundies? They've got a lightning. Is there
I don't think they'll be able to roll anything up though, because there's still the Sunday here and the harassers.
There is a Sunday for Covert Terrence at Chemical Lab, but if they don't transition fast enough, it's already collapsing now.
Yeah, I don't know. The maxes still seem to be on point unless they're redeploying now. They must be redeploying. Maybe the squad lead's asking the maxes to stay there and clean up anybody that tries to drop.
I'm really interested to see in like kind of what the infantry statistics are, because I feel like Covert Terrence have had so far the stronger infantry, and that's one of the reasons why they were to hold on the Chimney Rock in that last defense.
I must say, I'm seeing a lot less air presence in this lane than I expected. Both teams kind of preferring to go for ground vehicles and infantry gameplay. I mean, here we see a Gal trying to make it to Hayok Chem, but just in general, less than I expected to see.
Yeah, kind of surprising.
I
think that's all 2 maxes now for Covert Terrence.
Yeah, the 2 maxes that were on point before. Looks like they got a delivery.
And that's the key for them to push in, but are they back up? No.
They're not back up, but they didn't have anyone supporting those maxes. They dropped with no NGs, no medics, so they're probably waiting for the rest of their team to support.
Yeah, the rest of the TRs just seem to be scattered around outside, and they're lacking that cohesion, which Covert Terrence seem to, have had in the last few matches that we've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the push now. There we go.
Okay, and it's a good push too, because it came from both sides. Now holding lobby without control of top fat is tricky, but it looks like they also had people drop there and clean that up. So now it's going to be on too late to try to push through dubs and win that point back.
Well, here's the thing, right? So we saw in the Pray for Help Turtle game at I believe it was the Hucker Southern Post in that powerhouse, same building, point is in the same area, it's downstairs. And we saw Pray for Help actually be able to, in the last kind of 30 seconds of that point hold on to it just on the ground floor, because there wasn't enough C4 coming from the Turtle team. So if Too Late has watched that match, they might, be able to actually re-secure the space.
Yep. C4 in the end is expensive for nanites, and it's possible that if they're devoting everything to maxes, they might not have enough to kind of commit to those big pushes. But holding a powerhouse like this can definitely be done, and a lot of the teams are starting to use these kind of turtle strategies for the bases that allow it, this being one of them. And if you don't push multiple angles at the same time, it becomes very easy to hold. Look, they've already got turrets up. These NG gates are like super strong on point holds like this.
Yeah, so obviously as you know, the FC control. Oh, there's never mind. There's been a push up point.
Bottom floor.
How
Skinny door.
Town's going to respond?
Yeah, so it looks like CBT is still holding top fat. They're probably going to wait a little bit and then drop together. Maybe they're losing players though.
Fail. Ooh. That was a really nice C4 usage. I think from Sultima, something like that. On top of fat there. He was able to kill a barrier and 2 medics, I think. Really worth the nanites if it costs a res nade for the other team.
Yep. CBT just stuck top of fat right now. They really can't push down because they've got people on both stairs shooting them. This is actually a really good push now from Too Late. I was really impressed that they managed to push through Skinny Door right at the point without CBT contesting that.
Yeah, and the Dobbs control the contestant as well. I'm surprised CBT just haven't pushed down and just killed everyone.
Yep.
But they seem really hesitant to do so for some reason.
I think it's because there's a lot of Jetsons coming out on both stairs and nobody wanted to be the first one down. And because of that, they just let Too Late walk upstairs.
The Bonnie sovereignty has taken the facility.
I mean, that's really played into Too Late's hands there. Just Cobalt Town's not doing anything really worked in their favor.
Yep. This base is tricky too when you're defending because the timer to get from spawn point to the point is really long. You got a decent run either across a bridge up top or through this long underground tunnel, which means that unless you're dropping with beacons or you have some other form of logistics to get into the base, defending it can be really tricky. So really good kudos to Too Late for being able to do that so well.
So Too Late actually had a scythe up still, and that was Ascendance, I think. And he's been able to place a beacon.
Beacon drop,
and there's already
sense.
a back cap at Chimney. Good usage of the pilot, you know.
Yep.
I know some pilots they don't really want to get out their ESF, right? Because they've signed up to fly or whatever.
Right.
But you know, just to enable that back cap shows that Too Late. They're ready. You know, they want to work together. Will it be enough? I'm not too sure. Because there's no cheese again, and that's kind of what's missing for Too Late right now is that lack of force multiplier. But it could be enough if they commit everyone fast enough. Yeah. They have 2 beacons now, so it's possible. No EMP yet from Cobalt Terrans, despite having an infiltrator right next to the point. And now they've just got a load of reinforcements because that infill hasn't EMP'd those beacons.
Going for another infantry push. Lots of spotting here. So they're gonna know where everyone is when they're coming. CBT responds.
I mean, this is a really slow response so far from Cobalt Terrans. Really slow.
Here's all the beacon drops now. We got Steel Ring coming in for VS. And they're playing the same format, so I'm only seeing heavies and medics. So I don't expect any maxes coming in anytime soon. That's one engineer.
Where are Cobalt Terrans? They're not here. Call them Casper, because they're not here. They're a ghost.
I don't see anyone at the home base either. Yeah, they must be like going for some type of like big pull of something. Still harassers.
Population on the continent is still 50-50, but they just don't seem to exist.
Here they go. So it looks like they're coming just from spawns and they're just kind of trickling as infantry. Honestly, I think it's a mistake from the FC's point. They might be able to delay a little bit, but unless they're able to get onto the point, there's just so many VS in here.
There's still about 6 minutes left of the half, so this is a very capital base.
Yeah, for sure.
And to lose a base in the last 5 minutes of a half is really demoralizing. And the fact that he didn't kill those beacons straight away is really rookie error.
Yeah, that was.
You really hate to see that if you're the Cobalt Terrans.
I always run. I mean, nanites notwithstanding, because you can run out. It's so important just to run Grenade Bando on most of your loadouts, especially as an infill, because those amp nades can be super important.
So there are 3 buses, but one of them's got a GSD for some reason. 2 of them have a GSD.
Just probably default pulls.
2 of them have a GSD. Why?
5 minutes remaining.
And with 5 minutes remaining, this could be really close.
Yeah.
This could be 1-1.
Big infantry push now, though, and I think this might make the difference because I do see maxes here, and I don't see any maxes for too late.
Oh yeah, it's a weaker hold. This should be an easy resecure for Cobble Terrans.
1 max now from VS that's still up, but he's gonna get focus fired and go down. A few VS left alive, but not many. Again, really, like, for what it's worth, they're only putting medics and heavies and I guess 1 max there on point, and they managed to get 2.5 minutes on the timer. So that's nothing to be scoffed at. But I really think they need to be using their cheese more because these infantry dumps 24/7 is just not going to win them the point.
For sure, for sure. But you know, obviously we were just being critical of Cobalt Terrans there for being so slow, but actually that was quite a clinical retake. They took air control, they took the cheese control with the buses, and then they had the infantry push right behind it. So I don't really like to say it, but slow and steady has worked out for them right now.
It did work. I don't think that I think they could have done it faster though, because they already mostly had air control. There weren't that many sides in the air. It's not like they were constantly being shelled. It did work, but I think they probably could have scraped 30 seconds to a minute off that before they responded.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Just by killing the beacons with that 1 infiltrator,
would have done
like
it.
at the start, you know, it's
Slows them down.
it's
just
small
that
things
much
like
more.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It looks like VS still clamoring with a few people that are left, trying to get people to touch the point. Overcommitting some resources here. I do see some maxes go down. Is there a bus over here? Yeah, okay, so there is a bus. Probably the same bus as before, actually, but the issue now is that they're doing the same kind of trickle thing that we saw before. Both teams have actually had issues with this, where they're not pushing always as one squad, and that's when you start losing people.
For sure, especially kind of, I mean, for LaneSmash as a whole, but in like the B bracket, teamwork has been quite key for these teams because they don't necessarily have the individual skill or the individual experience which, you know, a team like Cats or Turtle would have, right? And so the way they compensate for that is by using teamwork, and it does actually work for them, and it's a perfectly valid approach to the format.
Yeah, no, I mean, we showed a few good point holds and point caps already in B bracket where that's exactly what they've done. It's not about winning 1v1s necessarily when you have your whole team behind you.
Yeah, or, you know, okay, cool, you might kill like an enemy heavy, but if you don't kill the Sunderer, right, or the max unit behind them, you know, all of a sudden you're dead anyway. And then because it's LaneSmash, every medic is running Resonate Bando, so the kill that you did get doesn't necessarily matter.
Yeah.
Of course they do all add up to a point, but again, it's that cheese and breaking down
together
of the other teamwork. Yeah, exactly.
I think especially this year's, like with the changes to, well, new implants, the auxiliary engineer shield that people can carry now, and kind of people realizing how strong, you know, Safeguard and Resonades can be. This whole turtle idea makes it just so much more important to be playing together as a team, because otherwise you cannot get inside.
Well, like from the stream yesterday, from Gelos and Gretchen, right? I think it was Gretchen who was saying, you know, the turtle meta is not new. Obviously, I don't want to do a wrong quote, but I think Gretchen said something along the lines of, short stack last year they kind of brought it back, they revitalized it, and yesterday we saw Pray for Help kind of elevate the turtle meta a little bit.
Yeah, and win against what was considered to be one of the best teams in A bracket.
Yeah, either the first or second seed. Yeah,
1 minute remaining.
And so this turtle meta, although it can be quite boring to view, and even as someone who, you know, used the turtle meta obviously in the grand final of the last season, I agree it is quite boring to watch sometimes.
But it's effective.
You can't deny it is effective because, again, as per the stream yesterday, if you play passive in Planet side, you normally have an advantage.
We'll ban passive, not fun to watch. So less than a minute left. No caps can go through at this point, which so surprisingly it looks like it's going to be a 1-0 point for CBT, only managing to win the neutral base. I was expecting them to perform a little better here, but good performance.
I'd really like to give some praise to Too Late here because that infantry transition between both Chemical Lab and Chimney Rock was actually really quickly, like really fast. Like okay, yeah, they didn't bring up cheese or anything to complement it, so they wiped, but it was still a very quick response.
Yep. Round over. Both teams, please leave the continent and don't come back until you're told.
And a transition is something that a lot of teams struggle with, even in the upper bracket.
Yeah.
So to see Too Late move so quickly, well, they weren't too late to the party. So
that's good.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna restart my odds cam. I'm getting a bit of hitching, but I'll bring up the scores in the meantime. I do not have a score screen, do I? I don't. Well, we can talk to it like this. Oh yeah, we do. Here we go. So 1-0 in favor of CBT, as I was talking about. So they managed to get the neutral base, Chimney Rock, and even though they did get some good precaps going on Hayoka Chem, ultimately Too Late did a really good job at backcapping and just making sure they had infantry down on point at Chimney Rock. And it ended up being only 1-0. So really, really impressive performance from both teams. This could really go either way. Do you expect to see similar strats in the second half? Do you think any team's going to change it up a bit? Do you think that the what is it, 2-mass? I forget the name of the of that other base that's not Hayoka Chem on the other side. Skyline's battery. Do you know if that's going to play any different?
Well, funny you should mention that because again, as someone who's been advising Cobalt Terrans, I know they have a trick up their sleeve for Timber Skylance. So if we do actually get to see that base, I hope I'll be looking out for that trick, and I'll point
I do
out
want to see it. I am.
But in terms of the opener, I have seen the Cobalt Terrans opener. It should put. I think if I remember correctly, it was again this focus on air control, which is pretty traditional in LaneSmash.
Yep.
But I have no idea what Too Late will do. If they try to turtle it, that could be interesting, because it is a really difficult point to turtle.
It's open to the sky, easy for air to shell into it.
Exactly, but maybe they feel like because they were quite close in the infantry department. Maybe they feel like, if we just had a couple maxes, we can actually take it from them.
Well, it's a kind of base because it's elevated off the ground. They don't have to worry about ground pound vehicles too much. It's mostly just the air presence. So if they commit like a few people in their squad to fighting off the ESFs, then that infantry hold might work.
Yeah, exactly. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't think that's the right approach at all for this lane. I think both teams had it right in the first half. Air control, ground control, collapse the point with cheese. I was sent stats, but I can't seem to make them work, so I'm going to blame Haylot for that. But what I can say is that I pulled up Fisu really quickly.
Yep.
Now,
what are the stats
Too Late, they don't have everybody in their outfit. They've only got 20 members. But they've managed to get they managed to get 278 kills to 397 deaths. Meanwhile, Cobalt Terrans, who have all 24 people in their outfit, they've got 515 kills to 385 deaths. So not only do they have basically double their kills, but they also have less deaths.
So in terms of infantry performance, it definitely looks like CBT's got the upper hand. But as we've just seen, it's not only about how many people you kill. It's the whole pushing it together thing, and res needs being just so important. I mean, we saw so many clutch reses from Too Late there, and reses don't count towards deaths on Fizu tracking. So even though CBT got more kills on infantry, if they didn't manage to push the point with those kills, then it doesn't mean too much. So. Exactly. Good work from Too Late here to be able to, hold strong as infantry even when you're dying twice as much and killing half as many people.
Yeah, for sure. But so if for those who are kind of new to the format, at halftime we have a few minutes here where teams are able to regenerate their nanites. Now the nanite metagame isn't terribly important depending on the match, right? So, if you're totally outscaling your opponent, you don't need to worry about your nanites.
Yeah.
But when it's a match like this, which is actually pretty close, considering it's only 1-0, nanites, every single one matters, right?
Yeah.
And so what we might see is, maybe because of all those resonades from Too Late, maybe they just don't have enough nanites to do the opener they want, and maybe that will cause them to adjust.
Yep. I know both teams. I mean, the common strat is once you know you can't get a cap in the last like 2-3 minutes, you stop using using nanite creating things. And both teams do that, so that's good on them. That's not making rookie mistakes. They're wasting nanites. But that being said, it's not like they have 20 minutes to recover everything and get double pulls ready or anything like that. They're probably gonna have one good pull of ESFs at the start of the game, some vehicles, maybe enough for a max drop at the neutral base, but it's gonna be, I think, a lot more focused around infantry gameplay. And infantry drops using beacons.
Yeah, for sure. Especially after the initial engagement where what you've pulled just ends up dying, or maybe someone flips a mag rider or a prowler, maybe someone crashes into a tree. Thankfully, we're not on Hossin. But there are mistakes like that, and even the human error, right, and LaneSmash, it's not talked about a lot. But I think it is worth noting because I've seen it happen where in a match, someone's flying their ESF and they've pressed the wrong button, and they've just
jump out,
and they've ejected. And
that happened. Hang on, somebody forgot to run save full or eject sheet in this match. That's exactly what we saw. So it's these little things that then cost 350 minutes for your team, or dropping a beacon on the wrong base, and then all of a sudden your team has to wait an extra minute and a half to get a new beacon up, stuff like that. So I haven't seen that many rookie mistakes from these teams. Like, yes, there's been a few team play mistakes here and there, but no like egregious accidents that's costing their team minutes of time.
For sure. And they haven't put the beacon on the wrong base, like what happened with Pray for Help versus
What are you talking about? I was not. What? No.
Sorry to do your team dirty there. Oh no, sorry. What did they say in the interview? It was all part of the plan.
Yeah, bro. We were thinking 3 steps ahead. We were waiting to be able to get the next base and then already have the beacon up. We were that confident.
But so, for you, what are you expecting now as a scoreline for this second half? Do you think it will be a 2-0 from Cobalt Terrans, or 1-1, or how do you think the rest of the match is going to play out?
I know. So I'm going to base this entirely off what I saw in the first half, where Too Late really focused heavily on their infantry drops, playing heavies and medics, and that worked really well on Chimney Rock and would have worked well on Heyoka Chem. I don't think it's going to work as well on 2-Mess Skylance if they're defending it. I think CBT is going to have the upper hand. I think they're going to be able to win the home base, and then if they're going to be the ones that are pushing 2-Mess Skylance, I think they're going to do a better job of that. They might be able to get it. So I think, offhand, 2-0 for this half for CBT, but that's not a guaranteed. That's just based on their infantry performance. Twice the they've got a better KD, and on a map like 2-Mess Skylance, I think that's going to matter more if they're pushing into it. I'm gonna go see what the opener looks like on the other side. I'm going the wrong way. It looks like there was about a half dozen to a dozen tops ESFs for
the
CBT.
match start is exactly 4 ticks from now.
2 minutes.
4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah.
4 minutes, yeah. I was gonna say, wait, it takes 30 seconds.
No, it's a minute. You're right. It seems longer than I'm used to. And then VS here have got. I don't see any scythes. Okay, 1 scythe, and
they're by the spawn room.
Oh, that would do it.
Look at all those scythes by the spawn room.
Yeah, that makes sense. And a lot more vehicles though. Was that 3-4 Sundays and a few MBTs?
Yeah, but as we saw last. Okay, so I think I know what's going to happen with these Sundays. I think they're going to drive all 4 Sundays up to the right, and I think they're going to try to use the mag riders to cover them. But the thing is, as we saw in the opener in the last round, it seemed like the Cobalt Terrans had stronger tankers. So okay, yeah, this is a great investment. And they've even got a max running around, so they're obviously going to put a max onto the point. But if they don't keep those Sundays up for long enough, let's say they go down with still 2 minutes 30 on the clock at Chimney Rock, we're just going to see what we saw, in the first half, which is that Cobalt Terrans just pushing back in and re-securing the base.
Yep. You'd have me surprised to see that these, like, besides the infantry performance, team play wise, like both these teams are playing close to A bracket teams. Like, yes, some scuffs here and there, not getting precasts fast enough, etc. But pushing together, like, this doesn't look like people who have never played LaneSmash. You know what I mean? Like, they definitely practiced.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I think Too Late and Cobalt Terrans are, they're my favorites to kind of top the B bracket. And so by extension, should they win the first playoff matches, they would then, one of them would have the chance to play potentially an A bracket team, right? And because of Pray for Help's upset win yesterday, we actually don't know who that A bracket team is going to be.
Mhm.
Probably WFAT. But honestly, the season right now is wide open.
We've still
So-
got like more than half the matches to go, I think. So it's
Exactly,
nobody's
yeah.
game yet.
And so, should Too Late even just get a draw, they might be able to then find themselves in that position to actually get into a good spot in the playoffs, and then potentially also play an A bracket team, which would be a really interesting match because by then they would have more experience and just more knowledge about the format, which they don't have right now, just simply from playing and practicing a little bit. And that could be a really interesting turn of events.
Are you? Do you know any of the? I'm not familiar with the outfits that are playing on these teams. Do you know if any of them have had previous LaneSmash practice, or is this mostly fresh from both sides?
So I know a few individuals on Too Late have had LaneSmash experience, but there was actually a debate about in the kind of the preseason about Pray for Help and Cobalt Terrans, which team
Where
should
they
be
would
in
be
the A
on.
bracket,
Yeah.
because Pray for Help at that time they weren't really performing to the level they should have been.
The match starts at the end of this tick.
While Cobalt Terrans, obviously they last season
They did really well in preseason.
They not only did they do well in preseason, but in the actual last season they won the Hope Trophy. They completely dominated their bracket.
Yeah.
And so, although they had a change of leadership, which can really affect a team, although they've had that change of leadership, they still have a lot of experience. And they just seem to be getting stronger and stronger. And if anyone's seen the Jaeger calendar, which is where you go to look at which teams have booked which bases, you can see that they are almost always practicing. And that is one of the key things which has really set them apart from their competition.
We saw it with 6v6 with BUA, now we're seeing it with CBT and LaneSmash format. It turns out that when you practice the game, you actually get better at it.
10,
Well, yeah, but 6v6 doesn't require as much teamwork.
5,
I'll blast you, dude.
4, 3,
You would, yeah.
2, 1. Match start.
All right, so we got mostly ESFs taken off here from CBT. I'm counting probably about a dozen of them. It looks like they're kind of foregoing. No, they do have ground presence too. 6, 7 prowlers and 2 rep buses. So heavy presence from vehicles from TR here.
Oh, is it? Oh, there's no vehicles coming over the bridge, which is a shame because
Good time
who is
to
this?
hack it.
I think
Yeah,
it's Boomstick. Boomstick was able to get here and hack the bridge, but they just drove around.
I missed the cam on that, but for people who don't know how the Heoka Chemical Lab works, there is a ground bridge that I'm flying through right now. And if you're an infiltrator, you can hack it. And if a vehicle drives over the bridge, as you hack it, they fall into the green water, and green water is bad, and you die. It's very funny to watch.
So the air battle is ongoing. It looks like, again, the Scythe's just really aggressive. They really want to bring these bosses down.
I always found it really funny watching like how different pilots play LaneSmash format, or just in general any format when you're with their ESFs. So one strategy is always like if you got better aim, you stay at the back of the fight, you kind of plink away with your locust or whatever your long range weapon of choice is. And then you get some people using the rotary or whatever you want, just flying 2 feet away from the other ESF and then blasting and hoping you don't get blasted first. Seems to be working.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. I would just like to point out that my prediction about Too Late is correct regarding their Sunderers. They saw what Cobalt Terrans did last round, right? And so they've just done the same. But if you're looking at the Sunday, one of them's getting shelled by a Prowler, and only now are the Mag Riders trying to engage that Prowler.
Yeah.
But it's not looking good for Too Late's armor game right now. The Mag Riders are all the way to the west. Cobalt Terrans have complete vehicle control of the east side.
Yeah,
and the air to ground on the buses.
I was going to say this is the issue. This is the issue when you don't win the air game, because even though they have these buses, these infantry, stacked up, they have some maxes on point at Chimney Rock. They gave up too much of the air game, and now they've got just ESFs with rocket pods and Banshees destroying the outside.
I said 2 minutes 30 that they've destroyed the buses. In fact, it was 3 minutes 10.
Yeah.
So plenty of time for Cobalt Terrans just to ground pound, pick off some kills, make them use res nades. Oh, PJ Turtle just used the drop pod to break Yoda PvP's ESF, so that's a worth.
Hey, that's for 50 nanites for the cost of nothing. Cost of 12 seconds of time. Not many Too Late folks inside the base here. There's 1 max and a good amount of medics, and 2, no, actually 3 maxes. There's more than I expected. But either way, there's still only half a squad to a squad of players there. I guess the rest of them are re-pulling ESFs.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, and the mag, some of the mag riders are still up. At
Okay.
least 3, maybe 4,
Are they in the
and
hills?
a Sunday. But they're too far away. They're on the other side of Skylance
Yeah.
with their armor. So plenty
A lot
of
of
time for
prowlers,
Cobalt
too.
Terrans just to roll up to the point and wipe too late.
Yeah, a lot of prowlers, man. And those are expensive too. 450 nanites a piece. They're
But we
really
are
committing
seeing a
to this
better
ground
hold.
game.
If you've had a look at this Chimney Rock hold, there's 3 maxes.
Yeah, so the squad comp's better, but there's just fewer people than I saw previously.
Yeah, and the fact that that Prowler is just going to be a pain, or all the Prowlers are going to be a pain actually.
Yeah.
The ground as well. I just saw 1 AP get 3 kills out of Valorant.
Not a lot of gameplay on point here. Just kind of turtling, playing safe, not peeking the doors makes sense.
Yeah, do you see
Outside-
how the tanks are killing the hard light barriers
Yeah.
to make it easier for the push eventually? Which is
And
gonna
it's not like these tanks need to get all the kills because they're not being contested right now. And if they can start getting the people inside to waste their nanites through med kits, C4, and resonades, then like look at this. There's already people going down, already resonades going out. That's enough to start whittling away at Too Late's nanites, and then eventually you get a big drop going and you wipe them all out.
Exactly. So what we probably see now is just one really large infantry push from Cobalt Terrans. They have got bosses. They have got maxes. They're grouping up now with 60 seconds left here.
Where is Too Late? Like I only see the people on point. There's got to be more people.
Oh, the mag riders are still fighting to the south and along with
I
sides.
see that. Yeah.
They've just been Cobalt Terrans have just kept them at arm's length.
They're
This is
kind
what
of
I
caught
mean
out of
about
position
their
because they can't
armor.
get back and support their team.
Well, they got flanked in the opener, really, really badly. And the push is now coming on the point now for Cobalt Terrans. Dursa with the max walking in, points flipping. I think Too Late already wiped with 37 seconds to go.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone here.
I don't think that Too Late had enough people on point, and I don't think they had enough control of the the cheese to even contest that thing. So late beacon drops now, boomstick, 1 vex 1. I don't think that is going to make any difference though, because they're really trickling at this point.
For sure. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be that 2-0, which isn't necessarily a surprise, but there was definitely a hope for that 1-1, considering how well Too Late have played so far.
Okay, big beacon drops now again, but
It's not
this feels
enough.
like a last-ditch effort. They've already got NG barriers up and maxes on the doors. I'm gonna go see if there's a pre-cap going on.
Okay,
Go
this
through.
is awesome. I really want to see if they do the Skylarch trick, because
Okay.
as I say, they've been practicing loads. So if I see it, I will let you know.
Call it
And
out,
there's
yeah.
no back cap just yet.
I'm at the base. Lizard's on point, so it looks like if he's probably waiting for that back cap to kill whoever it is. Is he infiltrator right now? Nice, a medic. Okay, here comes one. Tank's gonna drop a beacon or try to.
Yeah, I believe Tank is from RSG1, which is another Cobalt Terran's outfit.
Mhm.
He's putting up the beacon. There it is.
Yeah, there's a few people inside now from Too Late. They're kind of waiting to see if there's a. Here we go. Stalker info does not
Tank
work.
was using, I think that was the Emperor. If Tank uses an underboss or a commissioner there,
Yeah.
he gets the kill. But the point's flipping because one person was able to drop.
Well,
Thank
the
you
thing
for a
is,
res
though,
aid.
oh no. It's always funny that when you flip, when you like these little reminders that this is after all a B bracket team, like it's these small things, weapon choices, just 1v1 ability. It's just not the same level as some of the folks in like Cats or Turtle or anything like that.
Yeah, which is again why they utilize teamwork so much,
Yeah.
right? Is to bridge that divide.
Yep.
Still seems to. Okay, we have Cobalt Terrans bringing in armor. It looks like.
Yeah. 2 rep buses and a.
If you wanna watch this, maybe they do it because they're in the right position to do the trick. And
getting
they've
a
got the
bus
air
upstairs?
cover. Yeah,
That's a
So if
hard.
you watch,
I don't know
it's
how you
really
get up there.
difficult. Yeah, really difficult to
You have to
get
boost
actually
it
drive.
over a gun of a tank.
And
Ah.
keep
this
keep
is-
watching.
I'm watching.
this
I'm
is big.
watching. And then
And there's
You are in a restricted
then
no
put, like, a
VS
barrier?
proper chimney rock. Yeah, so you need the barrier because
this
of
is the slowest, memeiest, but best thing I've seen getting into a base. Oh, that first one didn't get through.
Oh no, you're live on stream.
Try number 2.
Can we get
Honestly,
like
this
the
is worth
like
it.
all she has?
Hey, oh my
there
god,
you go.
he got in. He got it.
And
And he's got
didn't
a
even
battle
know.
bus too. Like no
Restricted area immediately.
no blockade, but that's working so well. And this can only really
Calamity
be done
just
with
got run
prowlers.
over.
So like this is
How do you not see the vehicles? They have to see them, surely. Maybe they're just saying, hey, everyone to point. Like, it
Oh
doesn't
my
matter what
God.
happens, just get to point.
I cannot believe that worked. And this is just people who don't recognize it. This is like specific to this base, specific to this faction, and specific to like not having air control, not losing air control, not having vehicle presence you have to worry about, and then also having infantry like not pay attention to you. Like this is like the perfect storm for being able to get these Sundays up.
Yeah, and
it looks like one is
it's
still
again
struggling.
teamwork and preparation, which enables them to do that.
Yeah. Point looks like went CBT's way. Good fight from
Eventually.
VS. Yeah, I was gonna
was
say good
really
fight from
close.
VS though. It did take a lot of fighting. That bus is still struggling to get in. Looks like they
Who's
gave up
driving it?
eventually.
Who's driving it? Let me shame them.
It was Val.
Oh, they...
Valorant.
Oh, very disappointing. And points flipping because they just don't have enough
Oh my god, I'm being
people for
squished
co-attacks.
by Galaxy.
They're fighting for
Didn't even see that thing
real
there.
at any time now.
Yeah, they used it to drop maxes on point.
Gotcha. No bulldogs on the side. Drakes are good against other ESFs, but actually if you land a Gallop here and you have a couple NGs on it, those bulldogs are nasty. The Gal's health pool is sometimes really ridiculous.
So even with the trick they utilised, because Too Late really got on the point really quickly and the air to ground wasn't enough, Too Late have been able to hold on so far at Skylines.
That vehicle push with the Sundays feels like it's a bit memey because like realistically if you're playing a team with that's even seen it before, like all it takes is a tank mine and you can't do anything about that anymore. But the fact that they even tried it, I think is just hilarious and goes to show that that they had some strats planned out for sure.
So yeah, it's like I don't think I've actually seen that before. One thing to note is another mistake we see B-bracket teams often do is leave infantry terminals and vehicle terminals alive.
Yeah.
And we've seen that now at Skylance. They left it alive. Yeah, well, you've got harassers next to it, but they've just pulled 2 maxes.
Yeah.
And they've back-capped you.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a lot of teams, especially it's you don't think about it when it's not a neutral base because usually the default is okay, if you're the first one to the neutral base you pop it so you can't, so the other team can't use it. But that applies to your own base too, and some of these bases, especially when you get to the tech plant and if they're able to get through the shield and start pulling tanks and stuff, and then a base like this where there's an infantry terminal on the attacker's favored side, if you get a beacon drop there like you said, start pulling maxes, it's really critical to have broken those first. Getting a harassment through these doors is really tricky. I probably would not have bothered trying to do that, especially with a Saren on top.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they've got a sound.
Maybe a default pull, they were just kind of panicking. Saren requires three shots to kill on an unflak infantry, like 5 on a shielded heavy, and like 6 on a flak heavy. It's not that good against infantry.
But they are bringing up a harasser to try and deal with a Sunder which is trying to deploy.
So Terran TR here, you can tell he's a live farmer because he's playing it like 2 feet away when he's ground pounding. You'll see a lot of the, how do I say this, practiced ground pounders. The way they do is they use a Banshee and they play at a pretty far range because then you don't have to worry about getting shot at by a Desi or anything like that. So you hear Yoda's playing it a little safer. Maybe not, but either way, this kind of looping in and out feels cool and looks cool, but easy way to get desied if you're not careful.
Oh, for sure. And but then again, you know, pilots, not only are they rare, but one of the reasons why they're so rare is because it's so difficult to learn to fly properly, and it takes so much time to really perfect
especially
it.
in this game. It's if people who are watching chat haven't, or watching the stream have not played with Planetside ESF before, or not a lot anyways, it's a beast unto itself. It's got you've got a hover mode and a flight mode, and basically what that means is that instead of the usual flight controls where, you know, W's go forward and you can roll and pitch and whatever, if you slow down, you've got your thrusters point downwards, and that gives you a whole new realm of movement possibilities. It's much more complex than just you know, W goes forwards and S key goes down or backwards or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, huge respect to pilots, because to be able to just normally have, it's normally a patience thing, like to actually play for that long in an ESF, and you know, there's always gank squads going on whatever servers, so you know, to be able to learn to fly properly is very difficult, and it's a respectable thing if you can manage to do it.
I will, while we're here on Jaeger events, stuff like this, so there, for people who do want to learn...
Oh, there's a push?
Oh, hang on, let's call this out.
There's a small push. They tried to wipe the balcony of Cobalt Terrans on the west side. They've got 2 heavies. Oh, there goes the Resnade. This looks like it could be a wipe. Cobalt Terrans.
We'll see, because these CBT guys are getting picked up without anyone knowing. Oh no, it was 2 Resnades, 1 for each team, so it looks like VS did win that.
Oh, is that C4? Oh, that's C4 on the balcony. That was nice. But the hold is still going.
They're like, yeah, both teams don't realize there's like a guy behind them. So that shotgun LA got like 3 or 4 of them. Resnade's out again though. It looks like VS are gonna get all back up.
It's such a messy fight.
No, it was Tierra that Resnade. Okay, Max comes up now. Counter Max, not as good against infantry, but really, really strong against another Max. C4
yeah,
goes out.
He's gonna go down
C4.
soon.
Yep.
He's
Didn't kill him though.
got an engineer.
He's got an NG, yeah. Take a look at the other balcony now. Looks like no contest on this side. They've got six infantry players there, not worrying too much. It's really nasty with all the ground pounding though. Okay, so here comes the VS.
Look at the setup as well, right? Like, it's working, but it's taking a while.
I think they're trying to play this almost like a construction base, where the meta is, you know, you get up in the rafters on the balconies and then you shoot towards the point. But this base does not work like that because, one, the ceiling's wide open, which means that air presence is way more important than infantry presence, and 2, there's all this random crap in the middle here, and you can get some infantry capping the point with good cover from the balconies. So I wish that when CBT was holding this, like, all these infantry players up here, I mean, good for suppressive fire, sure, but they need to be having people on point and
I mean, this fight is still going. It's really close.
Yeah.
You know, one balcony's under control for Cobalt Terrans, one's under control for Too Late.
Yep.
It's super close.
And okay, kudos to whoever's in the air, because I'm not seeing any air. I'm not seeing any more air to ground from CBT. So it looks like the ESFs from VS are doing a good job at holding them off. Beacon drops now. A few people on the roof they've got to deal with first. It looks like CBT's trying to get the point flip back in their favor, and most of Too Late gets wiped on the balc. So that's going to leave CBT in control.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Is there a drop coming in?
A Max now coming in.
Oh yeah. Big flip from spawn. So it looks like that wasn't.
Where's the air? And there's no air to ground.
No, well, that's what I was saying. It looks like both teams have kind of given up on that. I'm not sure what this ESF is running here. Okay, he is running.
I think he's got pods.
Yeah, so he's doing some
stuff. Yeah, they got pods.
Shooting the Sunday.
Which is nice.
Oh, don't run away, he's burning.
Why is that engineer not?
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
point.
These are like the little
40
things,
seconds,
right?
get on the point. Get on the point, your team needs you. And here comes the Too Late push.
Oh, big C4, that's gonna wreck like 2 people. They're really banking on this one Max. They've got like 4 engines on him and a bunch of medics, and he's struggling to get over the barrier. Okay, so he gets past. Even with all these engines, it's tricky to beat like 2 Maxes.
Oh, they're getting conked, they're getting C4'd, but yet they get up to the managing to get onto the balcony.
See, they have 15 seconds to get the point though, and I don't know if that's going to be enough time. Even if they're on the balcony now they have to worry about getting back down. I don't know if it was worth bothering getting up here. Okay, so here comes a little bit of a push now. They've got some Maxes trying to push towards point. 4 seconds left. TR collapsing point now from their balc.
1.
And that goes through for CBT. That was close, and I really thought that Too Late was going to be able to get back from that, but that pull from CBT, really phenomenal. Good job with the Maxes underneath the cover. That's what I was talking about. You don't only need to play the balconies here, and good job holding that.
Exactly.
I don't know if I agree with the decision that Too Late had to, like, they started on the left-hand side here over on the northwest and then kind of pushed towards the southeast and went through the other door. That cost them like 30 seconds, and I think that could have been enough time to push in and potentially
it very much felt like Too Late could have just walked in, you know.
Yeah.
But also I just want to point out, someone in chat mentioned that for the Prowler trick, it was the same thing for Aurora Max last year, where you would go on the vehicle bay, right, and you could drive over. Same concept, just applied differently. And it's something which is always nice to see these new straps.
Yeah, no, I knew it existed. I just hadn't seen it on this base before.
I mean, personally, I don't think it's been used on this base before. Wow, Cobalt Terrans, while I was talking, they already had 30 seconds on the cap time at
yeah, I was here to look. It looked like there was only a handful of people, 2 or 3 infiltrators maybe. But really big, almost over a commitment from Too Late here. This is what we saw last half as well, where they overcommitted to Heyoka Chem. They've got probably a full squad of people here recapping against very few. Is that a Max? Oh no, so we've got harassers underneath. GST harassers running AI weapons mostly. Not only, mostly. You got a Vulcan and a halberd there as well, but
Brand new sovereignty is
I
taking the
think
facility.
they're gonna try to get inside. Yeah, they're going inside. Bus comes
So
in
there's still-
now.
There's still 12 minutes, so you know this tech plant
Could go through.
could be flipped.
But that the same thing could be said in reverse. So maybe is there a pre-cap going on right now? Is that why they're not capping point?
No, there's
Skylines are
no
not
VS
flipping.
pop, no VS
Yeah,
pop.
no,
at
no VS pop
Skylines.
there. That would be the time. Oh, they're getting a lot of cheese on point here at 2-mast. If you can get them pulled off, that would be huge.
So they're trying to get so much cheese that actually they don't have enough infantry to support the cheese. But that medic should be able to res that max. Although he's pulled out his assault rifle, he almost gets one over.
Oh no.
Those harassers, they're going
So
to
it
be
wasn't a
paid.
Vulcan, it was a Marauder, so that makes sense. He's doing a good job up there. Model
Yeah,
looks
those
very
harassers,
similar.
they've actually managed to get 2 up. And they've got a max, they're pushing a point. Still no VS pop at Skylance.
So,
So it's-
too late doing the traditional push or even defense for tech plant here. So you want to get control of the upper balcony. Usually you get a beacon down. Oh, good flank here. I just kind of want to see what happens. One sec.
Is this deadly cookie? Do you see that heavy?
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the
I
balcony,
want to see what
yeah.
he does. If he's just gonna like,
He's just waiting.
is he gonna put a beacon up? Is he gonna blast?
Just shoot him. Oh, he's
Now he's
pulling
gonna
the
get a knife
out.
out for the memes.
What? He doesn't get
For the
anyone.
memes. When you have an
he
LMG,
got
but you
one.
choose a knife instead, he goes down.
Ace him, follows him up. Get
Shotgun.
Get
No,
two.
don't turn around.
Oh, the boosh.
Oh, he does. Get ambushes. Anyways, okay. Before that happened, I was saying.
And all that, they've taken the point.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're focusing on the important things as casters.
So what happened was, Too Late tried to push down onto the point from balcony, but again, no maxes,
Yeah.
so they just got torn apart.
It's tricky.
now-
So
now
the
there's
balcony
a
push is the way to go. Like you do want to get a beacon up here. You want to win balcony control because you have like from where you can see in the cam. Like you have full line of sight on everyone on point. You can easily shell down them, and then you walk down and cap point. But that's not a guarantee. And if you don't have those maxes that cheese backing you up, then heavies are gonna get shredded. Resonate's out. CBT's getting.
And they're bringing up another harasser.
I work.
So they're
I mean, they got
doing
a lot of
well,
kills
but-
before. Yeah.
They're about,
Side
to,
time
they're
goes
about to
down.
lose balcony.
Max is back up here. Lots of resonates out, but just look at how many CBT folks are there compared to Too Late. Like there's easily 12 more people on point and just around it.
Yeah, and every time Too Late try to push down from that balcony, they're going to have to deal with that harasser as well.
Yeah.
And you know, and this isn't a game, like, okay, sure, you having the balcony control and putting a weight of fire down onto point, very cool, right? But it's not a game where suppressive fire actually works.
No.
It looks good though.
Makes for cool trailers and stuff, but unless you got a lasher, it's not gonna make a big difference. Resonate's out for both teams. Looks like most of Too Late went down here behind the wall. No medics to res them. It's gonna be tricky to come back from this. And even if they have the beacon up, that means that they lost their 2 maxes. They won't be able to respawn those. Heavy goes down, getting rezzed by the medics here. And here they're kind of pushing out of the point, wiping up those few remaining Too Late folks, killing the maxes. GSD 70 coming into what they should be doing is
Oh
actually
no, that
hacking
one
these.
VS
They are.
Max! The
Good
one
work.
VS Max on the balcony! Oh no! He's about to get hunted down. Oh, he
squad
actually
of-
managed to get Malrin though.
Yeah, he gets down, but back into a vehicle bay that's completely occupied by CBT on the box. And a
Yeah.
Sunday inside.
And just dies.
Yeah.
Oh. But he's got phylactery. Can he do it?
Yeah, he's gonna get blasted instantly. They
Oh,
come back to
no,
3/4
not the
HP.
bus. That Max has had a very unfortunate
Yeah, I know.
last couple
Hey,
minutes.
you know what? For what it's worth, he's still up and hiding.
Yeah, yeah, you gotta respect
work,
it, the fact
Jeep,
that he
Jeep. Good
managed to survive.
So cheese up again from CBT. That Bulldog, nasty work here. And Cookie cleans up the engineer.
Oh no.
Using his gun instead of a knife, I like to see that.
So there's a it looks like they're gonna do a bunny hole push, right? Or other people call it a
Oh,
glory hole
no.
in the
Yeah.
vehicle bay. But there's a bus and a harasser there.
That's how
So
you play it. What you do is you put a blockade bus here. It's gonna take you. You can't
Oh,
get
no.
tank mines up easily.
They're going for the other one, the second entrance, I think. Or have they gone
That one's
banana?
outside. So we'll see how this one plays out. For people who don't know, there's
went
like
to
a
the
tube
banana.
that runs from spawn all the way underground. One hole pops up inside banana, I believe. One.
Yeah, they're pushing. Yeah, they're pushing for banana right now.
Yeah, so here
Right
they go.
to
They're
point.
coming in from banana, and they're going to be pushing through the grinder doors. And these are really hard to push through, because the reason they're called grinder doors, grinder stairs, is because of this. You get maxes, you get heavies up on the balconies, and it's a funnel. There's really not much you can do.
Yeah, you're just grinding XP as if it's like World of Warcraft or something.
Yeah, yeah. The way that you win a tech plant, I said it before, is you got to take this upper balk. If you don't take the upper balk, and you're trying to push up grinder stairs, you're going to die really fast. It doesn't even take a lot of players to do it. You could probably hold this with just 3-4 maxes. You don't even need a whole team. It looks like they've also given up on their vehicle gameplay. I'm seeing Zero Lord and a few of the better tankers for Too Late playing infantry now, so I think they're committing everything they have to trying to cap this point.
Yeah, I mean, it is their home base, and infantry, you know, is what's gonna do it for them if they're able to do it.
It sucks, and I really think this comes down to base design. Too Late was doing a really good job with their Pearl strat, and it just didn't work on this. Okay, so they've got some folks coming up from the SCU gen side. They're gonna be pushing through the back gate, but there's like 3 of them. I'm not sure what the plan is here.
Yeah.
Got out by the Bulldog. One goes down, and another. Oh, trades out. Actually managed to get the kill. Good work. He's still alive, but one dude. And it looks like
it looks like a good setup. It looks like a good setup.
Yeah, no, CBT's got this held down nicely. The only thing I would say is maybe if they get like another harass up there, that'd be strong. They already have one, so I'm not too worried.
Yeah, for sure. I think 2 harasses would be optimal, but sometimes they can get in the way of one another, which is actually something which happens quite often, especially if you see it on live.
Yep. Let's take a look outside here. I'm really wondering where this Too Late stack is. Are they coming up through grinder doors again? Because they're just like, I'm seeing a few dead bodies here and there, but mostly no presence. I'm gonna ESF up, trying to kill the hard spawns. Okay, here it is. They are on the balk. So they're doing the good push. This is what I wanted to see. They're coming in through balk doors. They're trying to win the upper control first. Oh, they got the bus up. I didn't see that. So that's gonna be really hard to fight against.
5 minutes remaining.
1 minute 18 left on the cap. Really could go towards CBT if Too Late doesn't respond quickly. Bus is already up on the bow. Harasser's up here too.
I think it will.
It's gonna be really hard for Too Late to win this again.
It is. I mean, it's really difficult on live to re-secure tech plant.
Yep, especially against a team that knows what they're doing.
Exactly. So, I mean, they're running out of options. They keep trying different things, but because they're not trying them together at the same time, right? So let's say you do a grinder and balcony push.
That could work, yeah, but they're only picking one door and then funneling 24 people through it. They're gonna get wrecked, especially when there's this many vehicles inside.
Exactly. Yeah. Too much cheese for that to work.
And not enough of their own. And I'm surprised because it's not like they spent that many nanites in the last few minutes. Like, they could be burnt out just from the first half, and then they have a few maxes here and there, but I think that CBT's probably used more nanites than Too Late, so I'm surprised that there's not more VS maxes, not more VS armor that's rolling in here.
For sure. I think
that bus might pop. It's on fire now.
I just think they're out of nanites. I think Too Late have just ran out at this point.
Maybe.
Because they did use a lot at Timber Sky.
One Desi into that thing would have killed it. Oh no, and now it's back. It's gonna be rep half HP already. Yeah, no, this is 5 seconds left on cap. It looks like Too Late is mostly giving up on their home base.
That's it. That's game.
End of match. Congratulations, CBT. Final result is Too Late 0, CBT 4. Team captain speaks. Join the interview room.
So, you know, the first half was actually pretty close.
Yeah, if I was going only off the first half, you would not be able to convince me that this was going to be a steamrolled second half, because it looked like Too Late was going to do a really good job here at fighting CBT off.
For sure. But it ends 4-0 with CBT bringing out some new strats, but based on old concepts. And I think 4-0 is what most people expected. But after that first half, there was actual real hope for Too Late. But unfortunately, there just wasn't enough. Again, I think it was the infantry and the air. And I mean, even the vehicles to an extent. Cobalt 10 seemed to have better tankers as well. Mm-hmm. So they just seemed unfortunately outmatched. Which I think once Too Late get more experience, I think in the
they
future,
can
this
come back from
match
this.
should
Like
be a
this
lot
was
closer.
not this was not a match they learned nothing from. Like I think what Tule can take away from this is that your infantry holds are good. Like they did a good job in the first half, especially on Haywood Chem and on that middle base there. Oh, for the life of me, I'm forgetting names here.
Chimney Rock.
Chimney Rock, that's right. And it worked well. Like they managed to get like 2.5 minutes on the timers with only heavies and medics. The problem is you've got to follow that up with more cheese, and I think that's what CBT did better than Too Late. It wasn't only infantry skill. It's not always about that. It's about how you're going to use your maxes, your ESFs, your tanks, and especially when they were pushing the 2-mass Skylines and then also 2-mass Tech Plant. CBT just did a really good job with that.
Oh, for sure.
And bring these folks up for interview.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
User was moved to your channel.
Hello, captains and such.
Hello.
How was that match?
Tough.
Yeah,
Fun, but tough, yeah.
Good to hear. So I guess first question is going to go towards CBT. So you guys did win the match 4-0, but your first half was, I don't know if it was weaker or just unexpectedly you didn't get as many points the second half. What did you change up? What did you do to get 3-0 in the second half when you only went 1-0 in the first?
I think there are two reasons there. The first reason, unfortunately, we were having real issues with our beacons. We had 4 beacons up and no one was able to spawn on them. So I had the Hesh tanks in place. I had the air in place, but I couldn't get the infantry over because our beacons weren't working.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys were able to completely take over our advantage there because I had my team redeployed, ready to drop on the beacon,
right?
But unfortunately, the beacon didn't show up. So we left the point expecting to be ready, and you guys completely capitalized on that.
That's actually a bug in plant side right now, which I see more and more often.
It really screwed us over, yeah.
Just for those who don't know, the way to fix it is actually just leave the squad and rejoin it, and that fixes it.
That would have been
It's a shame because it's those little things that can make or break capping a base or losing pop in a hex.
Well, exactly. After that, we lost the momentum entirely, and we were just playing defensive and catch up because 8sec really had us, were really testing us there. And then the second reason was that we noticed that 8sec were really nanite heavy on the first round, so we were going to capitalize on that on the second round, because we knew that they wouldn't be able to pull as many maxes or air as they were able to in the first round.
I wasn't sure about that when I was casting. In the last fight, especially at the Tech Plant, I was noticing that there was a lot more TR maxes for sure, and just a lot fewer cheese in the ground and in general from Too Late. And I wasn't sure, was that because you guys ran out of nanites, or was that an active decision, let's put 24 people or whatever on infantry and try to win back the Tech Plant that way?
Somewhat a mixture of both. Yes, we were very nanite poor for the second half.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out for the first half pretty nicely. That you did have, like, I really thought that was going to go 0-0 for a lot of that. You had good infantry presence when you were trying to cap that neutral base, and that could have gone either way. So good work from both teams for that.
So I do have a question for Couple Tones. We were actually able to catch your Prowler tactic to get Sunday onto Skylance, and we saw Calamity unfortunately get run over by the bus. With that strat, was that obviously it took a long time to do, and we watched ourselves. Unfortunately, only one of the buses actually managed to get up.
Yeah.
And Monkey was saying, is it it's a bit of a meme thing to do. I mean, obviously it has an impact, but it was a bit memey. What do you think about that? Do you think it was worth it, or do you think it was a misallocation of resources?
No, I think it would have been worth it because we had the air control. So if we could get 2 Sundays to block out the doors with dogs, it would have been really useful. But unfortunately, our infantry, again, we were having issues with the beacon. So the ground was in place and the air was in place, but the infantry wasn't there. So there wasn't that support. So